What's up, photo freaks? I'm Matt Taconti. Welcome to episode 20. Today we're coming to you from the park where they shot part of the movie Say Anything. Behind me is the location where John Cusack, aka Lloyd Dobler, parked his car and held up his boombox playing some Peter Gabriel to win back the heart of his ex-girlfriend. So yeah, awesome movie. Check it out. If it's before your time, you should still look it up. Check it out. Great movie for everybody. All right, so the tutorial today, what we're going to talk about is dynamic range. And I'm going to try and get through this kind of quickly, keep it simple because it's really windy out today. And we want to give you this tutorial and keep the content coming. So dynamic range is the ability of your camera, or how capable your camera is of maintaining detail during extreme lights and the darkest darks. And that is really important when shopping for a camera, and especially if you're a professional photographer. So a really good dynamic range would be anywhere between 12 and 14. So you want to get that up to 14 if possible, which a lot of cameras are doing now. And for the most part, the longest time film has been the best in dynamic range, and it still is. But digital has slowly been catching up, which is really good news for photographers and consumers who want to buy a camera. You also want to remember that ISO is very important and directly affects your dynamic range. So, for example, Nikon, the D850 is a great camera for dynamic range. It's got 14, I think over 14 stops for the dynamic range, and that's really good. The two other that are comparable are the Sony's, the A7R II and the A7R III. So as you get towards ISO 640, the Sony's catch up to the D850, which the 850 is a great camera. I love that camera, love Nikon. But I do love the Sonys, and I shoot with Sonys. And as you get to ISO 640, the Sonys start to surpass, and they end up almost surpassing the D850 to one full stop, which is great. So what I'll do is I'll show you a couple of pictures that will be examples of dynamic range and what role it places when it comes to taking shots. But the basic way to remember it is the higher the dynamic range, the stops, the more capable your camera is of shooting in it and maintaining detail. So sometimes I'll see shots and it's really, really dark and shadowy in one area and really, really blown out in the background because of the sunlight. Or it might be vice versa. So if your camera has really good dynamic range, it's going to be able to keep that detail in the, I don't know why I'm clapping. It's going to be able to keep that detail in the shadows, and maybe if you have some clouds behind you, it's going to be able to do that. If you notice that your camera is struggling or something's really, really blown out, then yeah, that's going to be a problem, and you're not going to have a good dynamic range. A good dynamic range is also very valuable when going over to Photoshop. So if you have a camera with good dynamic range, you're able to do more things with that with Photoshop. And for myself, if I'm editing like a wedding shoot, that's really important. So that's the gist of it as far as dynamic range. I'll show you a couple of shots as examples, and just want to thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the, well actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the examples now before I say goodbye, but definitely hit the like button and subscribe, and yeah, I will show those pictures to you right now. Okay, so here we are with dynamic range images. The two pictures I'm looking at right now are of a stream or a lake. You can see the picture on the left. It's the one with the poor dynamic range. As you look at the island there, along the shoreline it's dark. You cannot see much, if any, of the dirt leading up to the island. The shore is all dark. As you follow the river or stream down to the center right, the trees and the little land there in the background, it's dark. It's all covered in shadows. You can't see any detail. And then with the sky is blown out. There's a lot of the clouds you can't see. There's no details. It's all the highlights it's too much highlight. So as you look at the camera that has good dynamic range, the image on the right, you can see the details in the shore. You can see the trees in the background, and the details and the colors in the cloud and the sky. So what might happen on other occasions is you might be able to see the clouds in the sky and everything will be in details, but the island will be dark, or there'll be shadows along the shoreline, or maybe in the background, but the clouds in the sky will still be will still have some details. So when you have both that are just completely, you can't see the darks and you can't see the highlights, that's bad dynamic range. You don't want that. So those numbers are going to be 12, 13, 14. That's when you start getting to the good dynamic range, or really, really good quality. And yeah, these are perfect examples. It's really self-explanatory. And don't forget, you are going to want that camera to have good dynamic range, so that way when you do get to Photoshop, you're able to do more with it. Okay, so here is the second and last picture. The couple on the right, it's good dynamic range. You see a lot of the detail under extreme light. The one on the left, shadows are too dark. The back is blown out. Just not good dynamic range. So one of the key things, though, is some of you might be thinking, oh, I'll just adjust the picture on the left in Photoshop. Well, the picture on the right, when you put it in the Photoshop, you can do those details and minor things to it, and it's going to look awesome. But if you take the picture on the left with a poor dynamic range and you put it in Photoshop and you start adjusting the exposure just to get it to the quality of the one on the left, that's where you're going to really, really see the problems that you'll have, and it'll start becoming noisy or grainy, whatever you want to call it, but it's just not going to get to that quality and that sharpness that you want. So it's not as simple as, I'll just throw it into Photoshop and I'll fix it. That you can get it pretty close, but if you have a camera with good or great dynamic range, it's going to be much, much easier and better quality images in the long run. So yeah, that's it for these photos. And yeah, thanks for watching. All right, so those are the shots. Hopefully you get the idea of the importance of dynamic range. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you on the next tutorial. For now, Photo Freaks out. See you next time. Peace. The ability your camera has to maintain details during the extreme highlights, and it is crazy windy right now. I'm getting dust all in my eyes. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Let's move forward. What's up, Photo Freak? I was doing so good. I felt it really, really good. Right behind me is the park, the spots in the park where Lloyd Dobler also, oh, f me. We are gonna get this.